Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors GNN review video. Today we are back with some very exciting news. We have a new exclusive Black Gold character, which is going to be Intrepid Liberator Caesar. And this is going to be, as always, another blind GNN review. So this is my first time seeing the leader skill, team skills, and active skills. So I will let you know as I go what I think about this new card. Really excited every time a new Black Gold card comes out. We have a lot of shifts in the meta probably, as well as new leaders, new team building, and things like that. So I'm excited to review this card and see what we have in store for us when the card comes out. So we have Earthbreaking Claws of Vengeance, Intrepid Liberator Caesar is going to be our new Black Gold card. Based on rumors and the artwork itself, we are going to assume it's going to be a Water Beast card, and those were the rumors, and we can see if we can confirm that right now. So, known as one of the great heroes of Rust, Caesar will come out on Monday, August 29th at 12 p.m., which is next week, actually, in a couple days. And that is going to be really exciting. So, we'll see. Let's see. The story will also be released as well with the character. That's pretty new. One Caesar guarantee for every 40 draws. Pretty standard for Black Gold cards. Give me the... Okay, free purchase bonus. Okay, give me the leader skill already. God dang it. Purchase 30, get 30 free. Honestly, this is one of the more valuable purchase packs because you get double the amount of diamonds that you get. As always, if you don't have money to spend in the game, don't actively spend money on diamonds. You can farm a lot of diamonds even as a free-to-play. Um, yeah, free-to-play accounts can still farm a lot and plenty of free diamonds. If you're doing your arenas, if you're logging in every day, if you're doing all the stages, all the events, things like that, definitely you are going to get enough diamonds. You might have to skip a couple patches here and there, but you don't really need to spend that much money unless you really want that character. So if you want to spend money on this purchase bonus, 30 for 30 is usually pretty worth. But there are also gift packs that are also worth. Other than that, you know, pretty standard. Um, Summoners will be rewarded with Dragonware Admiral Blue Stiletto upon getting your first Caesar, and then you are going to be able to craft the Dragonware using extra copies of Caesar, which honestly I don't recommend because getting a Black Gold card is so hard anyways that you might not want to get duplicates just for it. But yeah, leader skill, there we go. Okay, cool. So it is going to be a Water Beast card, as the rumors confirmed. And in my opinion, Water Beasts are very due for a new leader. The last one that we had was, oh well, technically we had the Gabumon and Metalgarurumon, which are water beasts. But before that, we have Quiness, um, which actually, now that I say it out loud, because we had the Digimon collaboration with Water Beast, the attribute and race is not as new. But honestly, yeah, Water Beast cards didn't have that much leaders in the past. So I'm really happy that this new Black Gold card is a Water Beast. And the last Black Gold card beast that we had was Jabir, which was so long ago that having a new Black Gold beast is honestly actually pretty good and pretty cool in my opinion. But yeah, so let's take a look at the leader skill. So team attack times 6, HP and recovery times 1.6, which, okay. Beast attack times 9 and HP and recovery times 1.68 additionally. When there is an additional effect in play, damage received minus 40%. Runestones of each beast attribute in the team also possess the effect of all runestones. Honestly, not a bad team skill, or leader skill, I mean. Team attack times 6 is going to be on the lower side because the current meta has like times 7, times 8, times 9, which a base team attack times 6 is pretty low. However, if you are running beasts in the team, they get a times 9 additional attack bonus, which really offsets this times 6 team attack, in my opinion. Which means that you are going to want to run mono beasts or as many beasts as you can in this team. The fact that you are not locked by race means that you can still bring cards of other attributes and other races, which means that you can get some extra utility for your teams depending on the stages. But I still would recommend running a mono beast team. But yeah. Additional effect in play, damage received minus 40%. That's pretty nice and all. It can save your butt every so often, but given how hard enemies are attacking nowadays and how enemies have the phantom skills, 40 or damage reduction is not as important in the game rather than killing your enemy as quick as you can. So yes, it's nice. It's also easy to get additional effects in place. For example, if you pull a character runestone, the fatigue counts as additional effect. Hyperstate counts as additional effect. Buff skills also count as additional effects. So it's pretty easy to get an additional effect in play. So depending on the stage, you could get your defensive skill up and stall for cooldowns and kill enemies easier that way. Runes of Possession effect also really nice. This will incentivize you to run a Rainbow Beast team to get as many attacking runes as possible. But single attribute should also be pretty good for you. But yeah, this has the effect of all runestones, including hearts, so your recovery is also going to be pretty nice, especially because it is also boosted by your leader skill. On that note, your HP and recovery also seem to going to have a pretty good boost because of the 1.6 multiplier as well as a 1.8 additional multiplier on beast cards. Beast cards aren't really known for HP or recovery, but still having that boost is going to be pretty nice to round up your team stats. But yeah, let's take a look at the team skill, because leader skill usually is pretty basic, and then the core gameplay of these jackpot cards and black hole cards are going to be in the team skill. So let's see, team skill. The leader is Intrepid, Liberator, Caesar, which is good because you don't have to run dual leader and ally, and it seems like Madhead has started doing things like that where you're not locked to have both leader and ally be the same card. The first black gold card that happened was that had this was Daji, and now we have Caesar. So the two most recent ones don't really require you to run dual leader and ally. Bam! CD 6 skill CDs of all members minus 6 after entering the stage. Really nice because it doesn't have a race condition. So you can bring any race in your team. So like I was saying, if you need to borrow utility, their cooldowns are also going to be reduced and you can still benefit from them. Again, still run Mono Beast if possible. Extend runes development time, regardlessly by 6 seconds, also really nice. The more time you have to move, the more you can stack, the more combos you can make. So overall, having more runestone movement time can only benefit you. Modify the first 6 runestones touch while moving to become beast runes, really nice. For each beast rune added, recover 6000 HP until team HP is full. So here you can get a most of 36,000 HP just by moving runestones, and that's also pretty nice. By dissolving beast runestones, beast attack increases by 6 times. So again, very focused on your beast members. When Intrepid, Liberator, Caesar activates its active skill, damage received will not lead to your defeat. That's very nice. This gives me vibes of Deku, Midoriya from the My Hero Academia. Whenever you activated your skill, you would not die. If you activate your skill, you also don't die. And because he has EP skills, basically being able to activate a tumbler effect just by activating your skill is going to be really beneficial. And so this is going to be really nice. Keep in mind, this is still ignored by enemies with Phantom, but overall it is a really nice skill to have because you can tank initial shields, you can tank you can tank a lot of things. And This way you don't have to rely on other utility cards to break initial shields, stealth shields, etc. Yeah, when a character runestone is triggered, the enemy will enter the corresponding state for 2 rounds according to the attribute of that member. Water, frozen state, fire. What the? Okay, oh my god, okay. Wow, that is amazing. No, really? Okay, here's the thing. We have been encountering a lot of enemies that require a specific status in order to deal full damage. If you don't inflict the status, then the enemy doesn't take as much damage or they don't take damage at all. Usually they reduce your attack to 10%, things like that. And because of that, you have to bring cards that inflict that status on the enemy. For example, if you want to freeze the enemy, you have to bring Erd, you have to bring Penguin, you have to bring Azazel, you have to bring things like that. Petrify, Medusa, things like that. Electrified, you bring whatever, right? So one of the biggest problems when you're encountering stages like this is that if you want to run a team like that, you are relying on cards that can do that. If the race or attribute doesn't have a card that can freeze or ignite, which if you've seen my previous card reviews, one of the biggest strengths of certain cards is because they are the first card of their specific attribute that can ignite. Or, for example, Gabumon is one of the few water cards that can ignite, which makes it really valuable. Same thing for Venomed. For Electrified, usually are light cards. So if you're running a mono water team, there's no water cards that can electrify yet. And so if you encounter an electrified shield, then that's a problem. Now, we have a card that does not require you to bring any of those. All that you need to bring is an attribute of that element in order to be able to inflict that status. So if you bring a water team, but you don't even have to bring a water team because Caesar itself is water. You can freeze at will. You can ignite at will. You can petrify at will. You can electrify at will, and you can venom at will. And honestly, out of all these, Venom is also going to be one of the strongest one because Venom is the newest addition to the status shield. And as of now, only Dark Demons have the ability to venom enemies consistently. Yeah, I think there's another one, but mostly Dark Demons are the only ones that can venom enemies. Actually, demons in general. The fact that you can bring a Water Beast and bring a Dark Beast and have access to venom is also going to be really, really, really useful. And not to mention, no matter what stage you are running that has any status shield, Caesar was going to be able to counter it because you just have to bring that attribute to get rid of that. And in my opinion, that is amazing and definitely a really good team skill. After that, damage of bees will be dealt regardless of fixed combo shield and anti-runestone shield. This is also really good. Being able to ignore fixed combo shield, really nice. You don't have to worry about spinning, especially when you have 7-8 combo shield. Honestly, if you can turn your brain off during those things, it's A+. And anti-runestone shield also A+, because even if you mess up your spin, you can break the enemy's shield. And even better, if the enemy has something like light dark shield but fire, water, earth exclusive, that is still an anti-combo shield, I think. So you can still break those. But I think the best use for them is like, oh, you have a anti-water shield and you have a lot of water runes. Doesn't matter. You can just spin it and it will still go through. So, and that's for all beasts. So it's not just a single character. it's all of them, provided you are running a mono beast team. Again, you can still run other races in a Caesar theme, but it seems like everything is going to be focused on beast members. For every group of runestones of the members' attributes, combo count increases +1 to the max of +10. And honestly, this is also going to be an amazing team skill because nowadays, more combo equals more damage, but also gives you easier time battling against enemies with high combo shields, um, especially with the addition of the enemies that every time they hit you, the combo increases by 2. So you begin with a 5 combo shield to a 7 combo shield to a 9 combo shield to an 11 combo shield, 13 combo shield, 15 combo shield. And they also have 25% tumbler, so no matter what, you still have to deal with the high combo numbers. Having a passive skill that increases your combo is definitely going to be good. So honestly, actually, we still not done. We still have more of the team skill to go. But yeah, if there are only beasts with Caesar in the team, damage received from burning will be lower to 1. Basically, ignore burning, and damage received from scorching areas minus 50%. That's also really nice. Burning, sure, a lot of cards can help you ignore burning, but the fact that you ignore it passively, it's going to be really nice. And scorching areas, we haven't seen that in the past few stages that much, but being able to passively ignore 50% of the scorching area damage, it's also really good because if your team relies on Skydrop, then scorching areas can very easily mess you up. The fact that you can ignore 50% of that damage is going to be really good. And the kicker for this team skill is that the leader doesn't have to be Caesar, though this also helps Caesar get some future proof because it will also make it really valuable as a beast leader member. Because if you're running a mono beast team with Caesar in the team, you get these bonuses. And it's not a lot, but for any beast leader, ignoring burning and ignoring scorching areas is definitely a good addition to the team. Hold off on that thought though, because we do want to take a look at the active skill to make sure it is a good member for beast teams in the future. But honestly, oof, okay, let's unpack the leader skill. So honestly, this leader skill is not super complicated. There's no insane conditions you need to hit. There's no insane sky drop. There's no like 1 dissolve. There's no 2 dissolve, things like that. It's actually pretty standard, like pretty basic in terms of gameplay. You're still like spinning. The first 6 runes that you spin are beast runes. It's all multiplier, but based on those 6 runes that you spin, you recover HP, and you do get a lot of attack bonus based on um, based on combos you make. So you get a lot of multiplier for your team skill, from your leader skill, type 6, and then an additional times 9 for beast members. If you dissolve beast runes, you get a times 6 beast attack, which is also really nice. And for every group in your team, you get an additional combo count of +1. Things like that. So it's actually pretty nice. The fact that you can also recover HP without the use of heart runes is also going to be really powerful. You also get all your skills ready from the beginning, or most of them. If you are running CD6 skills, you get extra movement time, and you also get to ignore or inflict status on the enemy every round. Keep in mind, it does not inactivate them, it only inflicts the status, which is not bad. Could it be better if it inactivated people? I would think that would be absolutely broken and that would damage the game a little bit. So I'm glad it only inflicts status. Still makes Caesar a very versatile leader. Tips and tricks on him just by reading this. You do want to run a mono beast team because beast members are going to be the ones that benefit the most of his kit. And additionally, you do want to run a rainbow team with him, if possible, because of the runestone possession effect. If you have runestone possession effect and you have rainbow team, that means that every single attribute will provide attack bonus, or will provide the effect of everything else, and that is going to be increase your damage as well. For example, if you're running a mono water team, if you dissolve earth runes, you will not get any attacks off, and you will also not get any combo count up because you're dissolving a group not of your own attribute. However, if you're running all 5 attributes on your team, you do benefit a lot from this runestone possession effect, as well as the combo count team skill in his kit. So in my opinion, running multiple elements in a Caesar team is going to be advisable, and a mono beast team is going to be the best option for him. But given different stages, you might want to borrow another card from another series, another attribute, another race, and you are not going to miss out on too much damage because they still get they still get the times 6 bonus. The important thing is that it doesn't break your leader skill. For example, in Wargreymon teams, if you don't run dragons, it completely breaks down your leader skill and then your damage is shit. But in a Caesar team, even if you borrow another card, your beast members are still going to be doing decent damage, and you can just rely on that card to break certain enemy shields or things or utility that you might need in specific stages. But yeah, as a leader, I do think Caesar is going to be really, really nice, um, and really powerful and really beneficial for beast teams. But yeah, I have a thought, but let's take a look at the active skill before I share that thought with you. So for the active skill, we have a CD6. Ooh, we have 2 active skills, and they are both CD6. So in a Caesar team, those 2 active skills will be ready from the beginning because of the skill CD reduction in his team skill. So active skill 1, Hemo Manipulation CD6. Tap 3 columns to remove them and generate enchanted runestones of the member's attribute in each column. Every time a column below a beast is tapped, that member enters a hyper state for 1 round. For 2 rounds, damage of beasts will be dealt regardless of equal combo shield and defense. Actually, this is really nice. So, removal is the best kind because it bypasses grid board, and also bypasses like condensed runes, petrified runes, and things like that. Explosion does not get rid of petrified. Explosion does not get rid of condensed, and the grid will actually block explosion. So removal still goes through grid, and now that is really powerful because Madhead is starting to introduce more grid enemies, and that makes it really annoying. And so if you can remove those runes and generate a guaranteed attribute and race runes, actually just attribute runes, that's also going to help you spin because you cannot rely on skydrop when there's a grid. So it helps you spin by guaranteeing your attributes on those columns, and not only that, you also break equal combo shield and defense for beast members. And in my opinion, this is going to be really powerful for a Caesar team because you are already incentivized in bringing beast members anyways. But honestly, the hyper state, the equal combo shield, the defense, and the removal makes this first active skill really, really good in my opinion, and really good for any future beast leaders out there because this still gives mono beast teams the ability to break equal combo shield and defense. And so if you're running a beast leader in the future, after Caesar falls off the leader meta, he is still going to be a really good member with this skill alone. Now let's take a look at his second active skill, Linking Magic Formula. Ooh, okay. You have a Linking Magic Formula too. Nice. We don't have that many beasts with linking magic formula yet, but that's also really nice to have. For 2 rounds, only the first batch of runestones can be dissolved. Attack bonus for plus 100% for combos made. Damage received from step damage will be lowered to 0. Tornado is removed. And modify the runestone's touch while moving to become beast runestones. So, this is not bad. It does get rid of your ability to do sky drop, so you don't want to stack with this active skill. Oh wait, there's more. When there is a linking magic formula. Oh, okay. So yeah, no, this is just the attributes of linking magic formula, so we can just ignore that. For people that don't know, if you activate another skill that has the effect of linking magic formula, it will not activate, but instead it will extend whichever linking magic formula is active at the time. So for example, if you were activate Yulia's skill and then activate Caesar's skills, this effect doesn't activate, you're just extending Yulia's skill by one extra turn, which I haven't seen a lot of it yet, but it could come into play in the future. So yeah, tangent aside, that's how a linking magic formula works. But in terms of this active skill, it's actually pretty useful. Especially, first of all, in a Caesar team, it is pretty useful because you do get a lot of bonuses from first batch dissolves. You get additional combos, which will benefit from this attack bonus. Step damage is kind of situational, I will say. And you don't really encounter it, but when you encounter it, it is really hard to defeat those enemies because usually step damage either hits you really hard or the enemy lowers your HP to 1. So if you take a step, you die. And no amount of skill can deal with that unless you remove the step damage, or you clear the effects, or you bring a card like Caesar that ignores step damage. Tornado, also very situational, but when it happens, it does block your board from getting more combos. It does get your, it does like limit your board for dissolves. So being able to remove them is also going to be really nice. Generating beast runes, just attack bonus. However, the part that makes me a little bit conflicted is going to be the first batch dissolve only, because that means that you will only rely on your first batch, and any sky drop that you get will not count. And that is not bad, honestly. It seems like it's just going to be a cost. But honestly, yeah, like effects 2 to 5 are really nice. They do support your team quite a bit, but it's not super broken, if you get what I mean. Like, they're all very good effects, but they're all very situational. You're not really activating this skill unless you have to ignore these effects. You can activate it for extra damage for the 100% attack bonus, but you're also giving up on Skydrop, which, to be fair, Caesar doesn't rely on Skydrop anyways. So you don't miss out, or you're not losing much by just dissolving the first batch. But yeah, this is actually, wait, this skill will synergize really good with Metal Garurumon and Ghosty, because they both have single dissolves, and that is going to be increase your combo count by a lot. And with this attack bonus, that 30 combos will deal an insane amount of damage. So yeah, so this skill actually has some use if you pair up with other members in your team. But yeah, so you sacrifice Skydrop in order to receive these bonuses, which is definitely not bad. His first skill is also just going to be really, really good for mono beast teams. Tap 3 columns. I wish you could tap 6, but if you're running dual leader and ally, This is going to give you access to a full board clear, but 3 columns still pretty useful to remove any board hazards or things like that. It honestly might also be really beneficial because a full board removal will also get rid of protected runes, which will make you unable to damage the enemy because of the lack of protected runes. But if you have a choice of tapping 3 columns, you can target columns without protected runes, or at the very least leave a protected rune untouched, and that way you can still deal damage to the enemy. So honestly, trade-offs, you are not able to break or remove the entire board, but at the same time you can still get around protected rune enemies, but while still removing runes that you don't want. So honestly, really powerful skill, CD6 amazing cooldown, and honestly really good in a member as a future proof as a mono beast member as well. So honestly, as a leader, not bad. As a member, also not bad. And I can already start thinking of teams to build. Definitely you wanna bring, if you bring Ghosty, it's going to be really fun. You're going to have access to a giant nuke from the beginning. Ghosty is CD 8, but with his skill cooldown -6, that's just CD 2. Give her a craft, CD 1, and in one turn you can get an amazing nuke if you activate his second skill as well. The fact that you can inflict any status of your choice just by bringing a certain element is going to be really good, really useful against those status enemies. You also get a lot of shield breaking potential, you get fixed combo shield, you get anti-runestone shield, and with his active skill you also get access to breaking equal combo shield as well as ignoring step damage and tornado. So there's a lot of enemy countering with Caesar's kit. You also ignore burning and scorching areas if you're running a beast team. And honestly, all these things together make him a really, really good leader for beast teams. So, good segue to whether I would recommend this card to you or not. Especially if you're free to play and you have to spend 200 diamonds to at least guarantee one copy of Caesar. Is he truly necessary for your teams? For example, people that didn't pull Ziyo, people that didn't pull Yingzhen, people that didn't pull Lilith have certain amount of regretty regarding not pulling for those black gold cards. I will go ahead and say Caesar seems to be a really fun team play, and he is going to be the most powerful beast leader in the game when he comes out. That being said, his playstyle revolves a lot around a mono beast team. If you have a lot of beasts in your team, I definitely recommend pulling for him because he does have access to all the beast cards and it incentivizes also to run a rainbow beast team. So the more beasts that you have in your inventory, the better the teams that you can build with him are going to be. Especially if you have utility cards that can deal with initial shield, that can deal with puzzle shields, things like that, is going to be really beneficial. However, if you are a new player to the game and you don't have that many beast cards in your inventory, you don't have that much utility, you don't have that much, you don't have utility, you don't have other like shield breakings, beast members in your team, maybe Caesar will not bring the most value to you yet. Because if you don't have that many beast members in your inventory, then your team building is going to be limited and you won't be able to deal with a lot of enemies. But that being said, because his kit is not dual leader ally, you could potentially run other beast leaders in conjunction with him as an ally. Just keep in mind, you do benefit from all his leader skills. So you do benefit from the ×6, ×9 beast amount damage, And I do think this is going to be an amazing damage multiplier for any beast ally teams. But you do lose out on his team skills. And this is going to be a little bit unfortunate because his team skills are really, really good. But if you have Metal Garurumon, you can run a Caesar team and still have a pretty good team, in my opinion. So should you pull for him? It's really up to you, really. I would... I don't know. So beast leaders don't come that often, in my experience with the game. Madhead doesn't really release that many beasts in the game. So pulling for Caesar definitely is going to be a little bit more appealing because of that. His attack multipliers are really high, and his value as a member for future beast teams is going to be really good. But he is very focused on the beast meta. And if you don't particularly enjoy beast teams, or you don't have that many beast cards in the game, then the amount of value that you're going to get from him is going to be significantly lower from other black gold cards, in my opinion. That being said, if you pull for him, you are still getting 40 pulls. You can potentially get some really good beast cards with it, but I don't know if you want to gamble on that, personally. But yeah, he is going to have value in the future for beast teams as well because his member potential is really good as well. But again, if you don't have that many beast leaders, and if Madhead doesn't decide to put in more beast leaders in the next year or two, then you're not going to see him come into play that often if there aren't beast leaders in the future. But yeah, in my opinion, it is one of those things where if you pull for him, you're not going to regret it because you're going to have a pretty good time with beast leaders, beast achievements, and things like that. But if you don't pull it, it's also not the end of the world because you do have access to him as an ally, and that gives you access to his both active skills as well as his leader skill. And the only thing that you're going to miss out really is going to be on some of these status and shield breaking potentials that you can bring other cards to deal with him. That being said, the status are going to be a little bit harder because there's not that many beasts that can electrify and venom, or venom in particular. So that is going to be a little bit more on the harder side. But still, you can still make do with having Caesar as an ally instead of as a leader. But yeah, so honestly, I'm in the half where it's not a immediate skip, but it's also not an immediate pull. So we just came off a collaboration recently, so the next collaboration will take a while. So if you want to spend your diamonds, if you've been saving your diamonds from the previous jackpot card, so if you didn't pull for Yulia or Utu, good choice. This is better. This is better than Yulia and Utu, but it is still 40 pulls. That is still 200 diamonds. That is a significant amount of diamonds. If you're free to play, I would say consider it, but maybe if you want to save for the next collaboration, you can wait. But I will say that collaborations don't come that often. So now that we just finished one, it might be a while since the next one comes out. And if you have a lot of diamonds sitting in your inventory, go ahead and pull for him. But also, cards are always going to fall out of the meta. Even the most powerful black gold cards will eventually fall out. For example, Inkton, Atlantis, Mesopotamia, Maya, Maya, Nasoy, things like that. They are good black gold cards, but eventually they just fall off the meta. So, and more powerful cards are going to come in the future. Meaning that if you skip him in the future, there's going to be something better. And so, if you decide to skip him to save your resources, you're also not going to regret it too much in the future. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say about this card. Let's keep going with the GNN. Same things. Voice pack. 10 free draws, which honestly, unless you're really lucky, not gonna help. Admiral Blue Stiletto, which is the Dragon Craft. Let's see, Dragonware skill, extend rest of movement time, nice. 4 beasts, nice. Puzzle, ooh, okay. So here's the this is also going to help with the Caesar as a leader because his Dragoncraft will help him ignore Puzzle Shield, and also the attack increases actually kind of. Active skills of leader and ally -3. Okay, honestly, if you're running Caesar as a leader, definitely use this because the Puzzle Shield, the skill reduction, and the attack bonus are all going to be really nice. But yeah. Ultimate stage, okay, cool. Honestly, I think this GNN could just be a review on Caesar. It's also long enough, but this is the last thing. Ultimate stage, Crime Lord of Gangland. Water Demon, dude, you look like fire. I guess blood, water, short, whatever. So let's see. Water Demon, CD6. Ignore step damage. Character Runestone. What the? Damage of members in hyperstate ignores initial shield and equal combo shield. If the team... Actually, shit. This is a really good skill. I was gonna skip through the rest of the GNN because Caesar was already like the highlight. But honestly, Marcus, this is a really good active skill for a demon. Full HP recovery. You also ignore step damage for 3 rounds. You can enter a hyper state by triggering a character runestone, which gets rid of the downside of playing character runes. Character rune will put you in a fatigue state, but in this case, it will put you in a hyper state. And not only that, damage of members in hyper state also ignores initial shield and equal combo shield. For starters, hyper state already increases that character's damage by 2 times. So having them deal damage that ignores initial shield and equal combo shield is actually really viable. And CD6, that is a pretty good active skill in my opinion. Definitely worth dual maxing this card. Especially if you have pretty good demons in your inventory, this is going to be an amazing active skill to have now and in the future. Especially because step damage is actually kind of annoying to deal with. And so if you can ignore it, amazing. And ignoring initial and ignoring equal combo shield, also really useful. Oh, we have more. A bi-weekly stage. Yeah, you know what? CD6, Explode Electrify Rune, Explode Frozen Rune Stone, if you're sure. Turn. Team will. Oh, okay, fine. Shoot. Honestly, honestly, this skill is like pretty average until you get to the point where it says your team will not be poisoned. We don't have that many beast cards that can ignore poison, so this is already filling some utility. Not a lot, and very situational, but it will still potentially see some use if you need to ignore poison. And so CD6 poison ignore, definitely worth getting. Especially this is going to be a bi-weekly card, so it's going to be pretty easy to farm. So why not? Bring it up to like skill level 9, skill level 10. Dual max, if you will. But definitely a good skill to have. It will not see that much play, but when it does, it is going to be pretty useful. And then we have some bonding skills and September challenge. But yeah, that's a lot of talking for this GNN review. But yes, I do think these have been really, really exciting news. Marcus was definitely a curveball that I did not expect, and it is going to be a really good card. And again, but the highlight of this GNN is definitely going to be Caesar, the new Black Gold card. Again, in my opinion, a really solid leader, especially for beast teams, and also future-proofed for future mono beast teams. But again, his focus is a lot on beast leaders and beast members. So if you don't have access to those cards, then the value that you get from him is not going to be that great. But if you do have a lot of beasts in your inventory, a lot of utility in your inventory, he is going to be a really powerful leader, the most powerful beast leader in the game to this point. And so if you pull for him, you will not regret it. If you decide to skip him, again, cards are only getting stronger, so you will also not regret it, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this new GNM review. Please let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong or if I missed out on anything. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!